Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Good morning. Y'all just snuck up on me. When'd y'all get here? Come on in. The water's fine. I trust you. I trust you to believe it. Listen, I couldn't be happier to be here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world. Well, maybe Fiji. But I'm here with you, and I'm so excited, and I don't plan on hiding it. I know. Oh, remember that? Pointer Sisters, 1984. Some of you weren't even born yet. Anyway, happy Friday, TGIF. It's like this outside here in Chicago. Kind of gray, but you can tell the sun's going to peek through. So how are things shaping up in your neck of the woods? I'm Lauren Michaels Harris. I'm the host of this wonderful show. That's shameless plug, hashtag. And I'm just so happy to be here today. It's Friday. I'm off to speak in Salt Lake City, Utah tomorrow. So I'm always glad to, and they have beautiful weather there, those snow-capped mountains and all of that. I'm so excited. What else? Oh, hashtag scandal. Did you hear about that thing with Alec Baldwin? It was on NPR radio first thing this morning. On the set of his new movie, which is a Western. Did we learn nothing from Brendan Lee? Remember that? He a prop gun. He pointed it, shot it, killed the director. The director's dead, and someone else is wounded. And Alec Baldwin pulled it. Right? I don't know how that could happen. Come on now. But anyway, watch the news. It'll be out there today. The other big thing in the news this morning was that the booster shots are now approved all the way across the board, and you can mix and match if you've even gotten the first one or whatever. So anyway, that's out. So the real news is sitting in the green room backstage today. The real headline. That's right. Her name is Space Case Sarah. You heard me right. I said Space Case. Right. Space Case Sarah. And no, I already know what you all thinking. She is not blonde. Y'all wrong for that. You're wrong for that. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to get into that in a minute. Now, Sarah is, so I have this show coming up with the Galaxis Gal, Cosmo Sapiens. Well, Galaxis Gal is also on another show. Yeah, she's a little bit of a social butterfly. And so she's on the show with Space Case Sarah, and we're going to talk about that. But before we get Sarah in here and we talk about just even Sarah and Galaxis Gal, women who love to invade and disrupt the space of space. I wanted to. How many women do you know about? Do you know who the first woman in space was? Do you? This is the ghetto version of Jeopardy this morning, and so I'm gonna show you a little clip about the first woman in space. Look. A textile factory worker. Oh, they're going too fast. I went to public school. I can't speed read. Look at that. Oh, I was almost a year old. CCCP. 26-year-old woman makes history. I don't think they've said her name. Oh, there she is. Valentina something. Okay. Oh, that looked like a Russian name. That was a big issue, the race. There she is. You think that's real? Oh, wow. Look at that thing. How interesting. She didn't want to land on water. Isn't that where they usually land now, on water? Huh. Oh, she looks good. Wow. Congratulations, Valentina. Valentina. Now that's a name, right? What's your name? Valentina. Man, if I was ever going to be a drag queen, I'd probably use that name. Don't start nothing. It won't be nothing. I did not say I was going to be all over the place by Monday. You heard Laura McClure is going to be a drag queen. No. It is Halloween, though. Anyway, Space Case Sarah is here, and I'm just going to get her in here because she can tell you all about the work she's done with NASA, and how she had a brief fling with Captain Kirk. I heard that. I heard that rumor. I don't know if it's true, but we're going to find out. That's one of those September, May things, right? I'm just saying. Anyway, you know what we do when someone's here for the very first time. We roll out the virtual red carpet. And no exception today, you guys. Be nice. Put your hearts into this conversation so that it becomes illuminated. Put your hearts on the screen so that our guest, Sarah TREADWELL, also known as Space Case Sarah, comes in here knowing that we love her and this space is safe. Get ready. Oh, here she comes. Space Case Sarah. Oh, that's your. Oh, you got some royalty in you?
And,
Hello. I
hello.
see you've ridden atop a floater too.
No.
Yes, you
No.
were. You were like homecoming and stuff, weren't you?
No, I have not. But
Were you your town's queen?
No,
I
definitely
was.
not.
I was.
I can tell.
You
You
call
have
queen.
the
I'm
energy
just kidding.
for it.
Yeah, I was. But I was a cheerleader, so that's close enough. How are you, Sarah Treadwell?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Even better now that you're here. Hey, I want to ask you something a little off the beaten track.
Sure.
Treadwell.
Yeah.
Well, that name sounds like it comes from a story. Like there's a talk. Do you know what the name? You know how names mean things.
Sure.
Do you know that about your name?
So that is my married name, but I am no longer married.
Oh. Handle number 2, and it's not even 10 minutes in yet. What about Alec Baldwin?
Yeah, I heard about that. That is so unfortunate.
You know, how do you? Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw some pictures of him on the news, and he looked very distraught. So,
Yeah, and I love him because I was following him. At the beginning of COVID, he and his wife were doing lives, right from their house, and it was kind of great. I actually learned the television move from him. You want to see it?
Sure.
I did. I practiced it, and my husband Brian was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Now it's like this. It's a thing in here. And, okay, so wait. Okay, you go. When you're waiting while the person is talking, you go, wait. Wait, I can do it.
Okay. Okay. So pensive.
See how I'm holding it?
Oh, sure.
That's what he does. Because then when it was time for him to talk, or right after he spoke, he'd be normal. Like this. And then he'd go. I was like, okay. So I watched it over and over and over and learned how to do it. Okay. And I did it on someone's show and it worked.
Did it?
Yeah, it worked. I was like, and somebody took a picture and I saw the picture. I was like, now that's better than.
Right.
Have you ever done selfie lips, Sarah?
Maybe.
You did, didn't you? Let me see your selfie lips. Come on. See, yay. Okay. Space case, Sarah.
Yes.
Tell everybody where you're at in the world. Give them a little bit about that bio, and I love the way that bio capped off. So.
Oh, well, I'm glad you appreciated that. I'm just skipping a hop from you. So here's the sun. I'm going to send it to you to Chicago because I'm over in Rockford, Illinois.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm not too far from you.
We're neighbors.
Yeah, we're practically neighbors. Yeah.
We get to hang out.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, so I live in Rockford. I'm not native to this area. I moved here. I kind of bounced around for a while, but eventually ended up back here with, like I said, my ex-husband, but now I'm no longer married. The ending of my bio says, I really try to inspire other people to live authentically and to follow their dreams, because that's very much my story. You backstage were like, tell us a little bit about you as the kid with the tinfoil hat trying to contact aliens. I actually was not involved in science or space growing up at all. I grew up in what I now consider a fundamental Christian cult.
What?
Very extreme environment. Yeah, very, very, very extreme and very anti-science. So we're talking young Earth creationist. I was specifically told that scientists are lying and that NASA is.
Can I ask what the name of that religious group?
Sure. Yeah, it's the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod, the WELS. It's a very extreme brand of Christianity. So
I see you chose those words very carefully.
Yeah.
You don't want a black van pulling up out front now, do you?
Yeah. Right.
We told you when you defected what would happen. I'm kidding. Well, I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, so
Z does start with zebra, and my
4-year-old,
in the
what's
background.
His name?
Miles.
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah, he's a sweet kiddo.
Let him come say hi.
Moo. Come here. We also call him Moo Come here, Mama.
I can tell he's cute. I can hear cuteness in his voice.
This is Miles.
Ah,
Hi.
what a big kid. Hi, Miles.
Hi.
Miles, who's full of smiles.
Miles. And that's actually why I named him Miles, because you have to smile a little bit when you say the name Miles. So
Miles.
Miles.
Let me see if I can do it without smiling. Miles. It doesn't even come out right. Oh, congratulations. What a blessing.
Yes,
So, Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I grew up in, very much in the church. I went to church schools, just all the way up through high school. And then got, I guess, kind of fortunately, was not able to go to the private, church-based colleges. So I ended up going to a public university. And whoo!
They should have known not to let you out in that pasture.
Did that blow my mind? Because I actually started as a music major too. So I was in, in the music department with the theater majors, and just so much diversity. It was good, but I also was not very prepared, and around that
social
time,
overload.
Yeah. I just, the world was a lot, and right around that time, I also had gotten kicked out by the church, so I lost sort of that.
3. What did you get kicked out for?
Not attending because they keep track of attendance. So they keep track of their members, which is, again, there's a lot of reasons that I do now consider calling it a cult, because there's very cult-like behaviors. So I got kicked out for not attending. That's ultimately what happened.
So do you have family members that are still involved?
They're almost all still in there. Yeah.
So what's it like when you come home, for gatherings and stuff? Is she like the backslider? That's what they call it in our family.
It's been very dicey over the past 5-ish years, I'd say, on and off dicey. So it's, I don't go out to see my family very often. They sometimes come and visit me, and so.
Well, this religion thing, let's take that first.
Sure.
Let's take that. Let's pick that scab if we
can.
Why do you think, Sarah, that so many religious sects have a problem with science/space? And when they talk about God is out there and heaven is out there and within the universe, which a lot of us believe spiritualism,
right?
Universe, but it's a different thing inside there. Why do you think that is?
It's these literalists, when they interpret everything literally, they can't compromise. So, if God made everything in 7 days, then the dinosaurs should have been there too. So evolution can't be real, and it's, so, I mean, that was a big thing for us growing up, is that's those scientists were lying. The dinosaur, big paleo, like they were lying. I wish I could explain it to you. It's almost this logical, I don't know, disconnect that they can't compromise on that. So
to get from one mindset to the next, in most cases, there usually has to be a really consistent, nudge system in place. Or you got to be seeking, and because you took a lot of chances diving into that. But what was it that you felt pulling you towards the space industry? Because when I listen to you and Anara on the show, it sounds like everything inside, outside, upside, downside, happy all the time.
I do know a lot. Yeah. So what happened, honestly, was I got kicked out of the church. I was in a relationship that probably was not established very healthfully from the get-go. And I just kind of pushed everything away that seemed too hot topic. So if it was religion, if it was science, if it was politics, like I didn't think about it. I didn't touch it. I just left everything off the table. And I had my daughter. So you met my son, but I actually have a daughter as well. And I had my daughter, and I said to myself, I can lie to everyone around me and I can avoid topics, but I can't do that to her. I can't not at least start sorting out maybe a little bit why do I think certain things or feel so strongly against certain things. And so I started reading a lot. And right around the same time where I was sort of sorting out how I felt about getting kicked out of the church and religion, I also happened to watch an episode of Cosmos. And that was the first time, I know this sounds so silly, probably to some people who are very well educated in science. That was the first time I had learned that there was more than one extinction and how deep time went. And I mean, my mind went, like my little brain exploded. And I was like, oh my gosh, what don't I know? There's so much I don't know. And so I started just ravenously consuming anything, just TV shows.
Were you tempted to refer to me as ravishing?
Ravishing, yes.
I knew it was going to come out. Don't fight it, girl. Let go. Let go. I'm not modest at all. I'm kidding.
Yeah. So I just started chasing everything, and that's actually when around that time I learned about astrobiology.
How old were you?
Let's see. Hold on, I gotta do some math here. Numbers are hard. So I was like 30, 29.
Oh.
Yeah, this was a while ago.
So just like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. No. Yeah, like 28, I'll say. Around there. Yeah. And so that was kind of the start. This has been a journey that has been ongoing for a while. And I learned about astrobiology, which I just was like, man, that would have been, if I could go back in time, I would have tried to steer, my education and my career into that. So astrobiology is
studying biology.
We're looking for life off of the planet, right? So,
and by the way, there's a 6-syllable rule maximum on this show. No words with more than 6 syllables. You barely made it. Astrobiology.
Astrobiology. So
right.
It's
I usually have to use my fingers.
Looking at extreme life on Earth to help us theoreticize how it might be happening off planet. And so, it's kind of funny that you said there must have been some sort of like significant thing. You'd think that all of this up to this point was the significant thing. That actually was not. What happened was I got into a very scary car accident. I got into a car accident, and the things that flashed through my head were not the things that you should be thinking when your life could possibly be ending, right? And immediately after that, I kept saying like, man, I would have pursued science, in another life. And I was like, what other life? What other life do I have? And so I was the next day reaching out to people and saying, hey, I want to get into science. I want to do this, but I don't know how, because I have an English degree, I don't know how to do this.
Interesting how those near-death experiences happen. Not obviously, clearly not for you to die, but for you to die to an old way of thinking.
Yes. Well, and the groundwork had been laying down for a while at some time. I was really into like self-help books during that. Yeah. And like You Are a Badass was one of those ones where it just was very like, and everything is so interconnected into this story. So, my upbringing was very Calvinistic, which is, it very much ingrains into you that you are worthless and that you're trash and, you're not a good person, without God,
sounds so exciting.
Yeah. Right. And so to have this literature though, saying like, no, like you're a badass, you are a badass and you are worthy. And it was just like, oh, I know that sounds so silly, but like that was just huge. So the accident was just sort of the cherry on top of just, I'm changing my life. I'm absolutely, following my passions and my purpose. And once I made that conscious decision, I'm telling you, it has been like a snowball rolling down a hill. Mm-hmm. It just keeps getting bigger and it goes faster.
Well, I have a question before we go to our next topic. You going home? Are you going to be with your family over the holidays at all?
No.
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 Oh, why? Let me guess. Last time you went, it said they had place settings. It said Aunt Jenny, Uncle Bob, Cousin Caroline, Heathen Sarah.
Bastard child.
Listen, your show Cosmic Waves scrolling along the bottom right now. Wednesdays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. 10 p.m. and TA. Lord Jesus. Hold on.
10 a.m. and 10 p.m.
I'm banishing a senior moment. Go. Okay. Cosmic Waves, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m.
Central Standard Time.
That's Oh, yeah, Central. On
yeah,
IRoc
you
Space
do the
Radio
math on your time
IRoc.
zone. I don't do it for you. That's what I always tell people.
See, that's good. and you and I, Nara, who's really known around the galaxy as Galaxis Gal. So, how did you two meet?
Again, I'm telling you, this has been a snowball that has just been just rolling on its own, I feel like. So I met Anara at Yuri's night last year, which is Yuri was the first human to ever go to space. Yuri Gagarin.
Yeah, they mentioned him in that little clip.
Yes, and actually, I was looking it up for you. Valentina, her last name is pronounced Tereshkova. So
you just had to get that in.
I was like,
okay, I'll stick to the 6 syllables, but you didn't say shit about speaking other languages. I'm gonna add that by Monday. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And
say it again. What is
Tereshkova?
Okay, Lady T.
Yeah, Tereshkova. Yeah.
So wait a minute. Do y'all hear that? And it looks like there's lights and stuff. Is somebody getting arrested? Y'all don't hear that? You don't hear that, Sarah?
I don't hear anything.
Listen closely. On the roof. Oh my God! He's here in real life.
Hey, CJ. How's it going? The aliens dropped me off. They didn't want me, I guess.
Oh.
They sent you back.
They sent me back,
What were we thinking? You know
a little
what?
too wild for them.
Everybody, this is Galaxis Gal, the other half of the show with Space Case Sarah.
Yeah.
And say hello, you two. Say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning,
well,
Sarah.
it's afternoon at work because it's much later in the day. Yes, we'll do our
Cosmic Wave. That looks like
wave.
You know how you can take a pencil and make it look like rubber? You remember that?
I do.
My hand is doing it.
Did you give him one of our cosmic cocktails?
Huh?
Did Sarah give you one of our cosmic cocktails before the show? Is that what's going on here? It's the cosmic wave.
Was that little blue pill she shipped in you? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Inara, welcome. We wanted to surprise Sarah because
I am super surprised. I had no idea. Hey.
What did you think of her little intro? What did you think of her little intro?
Oh yeah, that was cool. Look,
obviously, clearly,
I was just like, I was confused what was happening.
Okay, let's give it to you one more time. Doesn't it sound like if that was real, Inara would come in and she'd go, "How you doing?"
Yes.
Right? I told Lauren that's how I should have come out of the womb.
Oh my God, it sounds like Dick Christie Love or something. Angie Dickinson, policewoman.
Wow.
So Galaxis Gal and Space Case Sarah, tell everybody what your show is about, who's it for, and because you guys sound like rocket scientists on there, literally. But you make it so easy to understand and follow. Talk about the synergy and why you two came together.
Well, I'm crafting, so I'll let Sarah go first.
I was just going to say, we met at Yuri's night, celebrating the first person in space, and we just really hit it off and have similar...
Were you guys on mushrooms?
No, I was not.
I heard what happens at those things. Yuri's night, Burning Man.
Yuri's night, Burning Man. There is one.
We really hit it off, and so I had been at that time thinking about starting some sort of podcast, radio, something, at that time. And I had casually mentioned it to her, like, I'm going to do this. And then she had the right connections and it just all came together. So Cosmic Waves is about talking about the culture of space and just kind of nerding out about space.
Anara?
Absolutely.
She's in Germany, y'all, so there might be a little lag.
Yeah, so Cosmic Waves, we talk about the culture of space. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
Oh, yeah. Very good. So, the first line I ever learned in German was, Hallo, ich bin hochschwanger mit ein Hunden. It's a really important one to learn. And it means, hello, I'm pregnant with your puppies. It's a really good icebreaker.
Oh my God, my fallopian tubes.
You got to unring that bell.
When you said that. Not puppies.
Well, I would walk up to the guards and I would say that, and they would be like, "Oh my God, what do you? Who told you this? What do you think this means?" And I would say, "Doesn't it mean hello? How are you?" And they would just start rolling, laughing. No, someone has lied to you. And then I would get a 10-minute free German lesson. So after these all stacked up, it adds up pretty quickly.
Sure. Hey, who here knows a German song?
Ooh, let's hear it, Lauren.
You know a German song, Space Case Sarah?
I used to be an opera singer.
You're doing too much. You know what? You got one more. Listen, Sarah, let me just remind you of something. If you want to upstage the host, this can happen. Bye.
Whoa! Oh, no.
I'm kidding. Oh, I put you guys in a different. Oh, you rotated. Okay. Nice. Okay. Du liebst mir in Herzen. Do you know that, Ainara?
I don't know. Tell me it again.
It means something like you reign in my heart, dear. Du liebst mir in Herzen, du liebst mir in Sinn, du liebst mir in Herzen, weiß nicht wie guten dir bin. Ja, weiß nicht wie guten dir bin.
This is very appropriate for October.
I know that's from Up With People 35 years ago. So
Lauren,
anyway.
An Oktoberfest dress now. We'll have to get you one.
Yes. No, I won't talk about that fantasy. I'll get into that later. Listen. You guys, seriously though, how, especially with the Inspiration 4 mission having just completed, how does that make you guys feel? Your timing couldn't be more perfect with what you're doing with iHeart and IRoc Space Radio. So what can people expect when they come over to the show? Because I know one of the things I hear a lot nowadays is that space is for everyone. Talk about that if you could and keep it, kind of moving.
Yeah. You can go with this, Inara. I'll let you.
Yeah, so we are in what I like to call the open space era. We went through government space, which is the Apollo era, where NASA pretty much dominated that whole climate, and then we entered the new space era, 15, 20 years ago, and that's when private space started to get kind of a hold in that sector, and now we've been really fully in that era of private space and more people able to play, but still it's been still kind of a private sector for the rich. Now we're entering the open space era where there's a huge focus on how do we make space available to lots of people and not necessarily those with lots of money or high degrees. So when we say make space for everyone, what we're trying to do is really make those access points. How do we get people interested? How do we get them engaged? How do we allow more people to play the game? So it's exciting to see more companies really make that a reality. And we're trying to push that envelope a little further every time we have a show.
Awesome. How can this one's for you, Sarah? How do you guys go about choosing what the subject or the topic will be for a specific episode?
So sometimes we plan them and sometimes we just show up and we just start talking and see what comes out. And usually the ones that are just not really scripted are the ones that turn out the best.
The best.
And we just kind of but actually the episode that's going to be coming out this Saturday is very much improv and just sort of off the cuff. And it just is, I think it's easy for us because like you said, we both have a really good breadth of knowledge of this topic. And we're also just super excited about it. So we kind of joked in our last episode too, that we're doing a service for humankind by, alleviating our friends and family of having to listen to us for an hour. And we'll just talk to each other for an hour.
We'll talk to each other. So here, let's play a little game, if we could, so that you all out there will get just a little bit. You can smell what the cosmic wave is cooking, if you know what I'm talking. Remember that, the rock? You can smell what the rock is cooking. I want you to get a little aroma, if you will, of what you can expect over on this awesome show, iHeart Radio and IRoc Space Radio, on iHeart, rather. So let's play a little game where I'm going to say, I'll address it to each of you. I'll give you your name and then you just respond. So let's start with you, Sarah. What would you say is, in your opinion, the number one urban myth regarding space?
Oh, well, urban myth. I mean, I think, I don't know if this is an urban myth, but you do get a lot of questions about aliens. when you're.
And that was going to be what I was going to ask Anara. Stay in your lane, Cosmic Sarah.
Especially with when you had the Pentagon earlier in the year release some videos and they said, yep, we don't know what this stuff is. And that's what and they hyped that up too, where they were like, we're going to release these videos and we're going to address them. And then they released them and they said, we don't know, which was a huge just letdown because that doesn't answer, that's not an answer. But I wouldn't say it's, like an urban myth, but yeah, I get a lot of, especially talking about astrobiology, I get a lot of questions about aliens.
Do you believe in aliens?
I absolutely believe there is life in the universe. The numbers just compel it. There's so much out there. It's very difficult to believe that we are alone, but but will we ever be able to reach and know? That is a completely different question. I don't know.
Completely different question.
Yeah.
Hey, have you do so in part 2 of your question, Sarah? Area 54.
Area 51.
Or with 51. That's
Yeah.
right. Route 64. Oh no, that's Route 66. Oh wait. Okay, whatever. I'm not a numerology person. So, okay, Area 50.
51.
Area 51. I wonder why they chose that number. It's got to have some kind of code in it or something. Is that you fact or fiction?
I can tell you the story of Area 51. Miles, there's water on the table right here. So that was during kind of the Red Scare during, the Cold War time. And what the United States was doing is they were launching weather balloons and basically spy material to try to see what the Russians were doing. And one of their weather balloons crashed and they didn't want Russia to know that they were spying on them. So when people were like, oh my God, aliens, they were like, yes.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Oh, that's so funny. So you don't think there's, I heard that there's like alien bodies out there.
I don't think so. There's a saying that it's never aliens until it's aliens. There's just not enough evidence to support,
You don't think we have any alien bodies anywhere?
I'm going to be honest. I do stuff, with NASA, and I get to talk to lots of NASA people, and there's just no freaking way they're hiding a secret. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. There's no way.
Why? You say you would have got it out of them by now?
There's no way. We last October there was a paper that some researchers were going to release a study that was pretty significant, and when there is something like this, they do what's called an embargo on the media, meaning the media.
What did you say you do this work for again?
Well, I help through an organization called Blue Marble Space Science Institute. With NASA, yeah.
Oh,
so she's
like a shameless plug in 3.
Shameless plug,
2,
but
1. I'm kidding.
So the embargo is, basically you're not supposed to be talking about it before it gets, the press is allowed to talk about it. Trust me, everybody was talking about it.
Sarah, there's a black van pulling up in front of your house. I'd shut up if I were you. Look,
is it the Wells or is it the government? I can't tell.
That's what I'm talking about. You're like, you're not supposed to talk about it, but here it goes.
No, but no, that embargo did get lifted. That they're actually, if we have any pretty significant indication, I should say, of life being somewhere else, it's on the cloud decks of Venus.
Okay.
So there might be microbial life in the cloud decks of Venus. We have pretty significant.
The cloud what?
Cloud decks of Venus. So Venus has a very thick atmosphere, and it's got a little sweet spot in the middle where there might be microbes living. And that sounds a little far-fetched, but we actually have microbes in our atmosphere. And they think that they play such a significant role in our atmosphere that they might be the cause of like a mist type of rain, because they collect water and then they drop it. And so we haven't studied a lot of microbes in our atmosphere, but we know that there are lots of them up there. And it's been theoretized that they could be also on Venus.
Okay, you keep flirting with danger, you're going to disappear again. Go over 6 syllables. Bye-bye.
So anyways, my point of that was there was a paper that was going to be released, the first kind of evidence, or not, I don't want to say evidence, but indication that there could be microbes on Venus. And everybody was talking about it before they were supposed to. So if there are bodies of aliens somewhere, I swear there's no way humans could keep that a secret. There's no way. There's just no way.
Okay.
No way.
Yeah. Well, we're watching American Horror Story, and this one right now, it's all about aliens and stuff. And Marilyn knew, and that's what happened to her, and Nixon, and so it's too good how they.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I have not. No.
Oh my goodness! It's all about what we're talking about.
Well, that is awesome.
There was a treaty, an alien treaty, and they and Eisenhower let them take some of us abductions. So I mean, because that's been something since what the 40s and 50s, alien abduction stories and this and the other. Yeah. So let's talk about Anara. You can jump on this one. There's a thing known as the overview effect, and I'm still going. I got like maybe 4 hours of Frank White's book left. It is just huge. The book, and it's just amazing. Tell people what that is and why. I find that, there's not many things that make me say, ooh, sign me up. I want to go to space. No. But the overview, when you hear people describe it, it's like my vision kind of glazes over. And I know that's real. I just know it's true. I almost feel like I get a piece of the overview effect when you're listening to someone who's experienced it. It's that powerful. Yeah. What do you say about that, Anara?
Well, we see it with William Shatner. He just came back from the Blue Origin flight. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was very powerful. This is someone who's not known for emoting. He's an actor, but in his daily life, he's not really very expressive. He doesn't share his feelings very openly. And
this was just recently, right?
It was, yeah, just last week.
Yeah, okay.
And when he came out of the capsule, he profusely tried to explain what he was going through. He cried. He broke down. He was physically gripping Jeff Bezos, talking about life and death and the thin blue covering around the planet. And he was changed. He was utterly changed. He said it was one of the most powerful experiences of his life. I'm paraphrasing, but the overview.
We can see that video somewhere.
Absolutely. I can send it to you.
Oh, and then I will get it inside of the, is Sherry McQueen here today, you guys? Sherry, are you here? Yes, she is. Tell her where to find it. She'll drop it in the chat for everybody.
So, Sherry, you can find it on YouTube if you just look up William Shatner space response. I think you can look into those words on YouTube.
Yeah, or like Blue Origins.
Yeah. William Shatner, what?
William Shatner Blue Origin response. Let's see. Actually, no, I can.
William Shatner going to space
is my calendar.
Let's see.
Blue Origin.
So, if I can jump on what Anara is trying to share too, the overview effect is this phenomenon that a lot of astronauts have experienced going to space, and it's just this realization that there are no borders from space. You can't see territory lines. You can't see anything other than this full, complete, beautiful blue marble that is protected by this very fragile, thin blue line that's keeping us alive. And so there have been very profound moments in history that have been attempting to get the general public on board with this. So very notably, Apollo 11, when they looped behind the moon and they came back, the picture is called Earth Rising because the Earth rose up, and you can find audio of them. They go, oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, and that beautiful moment of them seeing the entirety of the Earth. They took a picture, and that picture was the first time humans on planet Earth ever got to see themselves, us, the entire circle for the first time, and then we got to repeat that experience in a very different way with Voyager missions, which are my favorite space missions. And the Voyager missions, as they went out and they explored all the outer planets. And when they had passed by, Neptune, and they had finished their job, Carl Sagan, who is a very, very famous and notable science communicator, realized that we had an opportunity to turn the cameras back around one more time.
Yeah.
Essentially a selfie. And so They took a picture of Earth, and when the woman who was doing post-production on it was looking at this picture, she kept trying to swipe away at what she thought was a piece of dust. And it was actually that one tiny pixel was Earth. That one teeny pixel, that was us. And so it moved him so much to write The Pale Blue Dot, which is a book, but it's also a beautiful excerpt you can find online. And so those overview moments where we see how small and how fragile we are, profoundly change people.
That's what they say. And here I found a little something. I don't know if it's the exact one, but I tried to scrub it up to the point where I see they're getting off.
They're getting out, yeah.
And so we could, it says relive William Shatner's profound experience. So get ready, you guys. I'm gonna give it my best right here. Let's take a look. And, how do I? Okay. Well. Oh, there. Okay. Oh, I'm techie after all. Here we go.
There's Audrey Powers. A big hug from her sister, Captain Kirk himself, the great William Shatner.
Everybody in the world needs to do this. Everybody in the world needs to see. I mean, the little things. To see the blue color going by, and now you're staring into blackness. That's the thing. The covering of blue, this sheet, this blanket, this comforter of blue that we have around us. We think, oh, that's blue sky. And there's something you shoot through it all of a sudden. And so you whip off a sheet off you when you're asleep, and you're looking into blackness, into black ugliness. And you look down, there's the blue down there, and the black up there, and it's just, there is Mother and Earth and comfort, and is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've had that kind of experience, not from going out of space, but I know he's talking about, listen, he said, I was going to ask this question, Mother Earth, feminine pronoun. So what, in Venus, is that a feminine?
It is a Greek goddess, and actually the rule for Venus is any geological landmark has to be named after a female god or a female goddess. That's the rule.
So all the planets are female.
No. Just like a crater on Venus or a mountain.
Okay. On Venus. So how many out of all the planets? Because I forget, the number changed since I was in school.
I think it's only 2.
What that are? 50?
Yeah, it's 2. So it's just Gaia and Venus.
Gaia, where's that?
That's Earth. Earth is Gaia.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I heard that in the thing just the other. Right. See? Well, don't judge. I'm just.
It was 6 syllables. I was well in my range.
Right. So how come some planets are considered female? Is that just like naming a street?
There's actually a lot of history with Roman and Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology, Sumerian mythology that gave us these classical names for planets. So that wasn't so much planned by the scientific community as it was grandfathered in from older times.
Yeah.
And it's been continued forward. It's funny because the science community can be very atheist and very much against superstition, but then we name everything after gods and monsters from myth and legend. And it's just one of those things you can't really excise it because it's a tradition we have for a very long time.
So here's one I'll throw out there and you both take a turn at it.
Okay.
In all of the things that you have, seen revealed as you've pursued and opened up your mind, heart, and spirit to all that space has to offer, what would you say individually would be the number one shocker? The thing that you could have never seen coming, or the feeling you could have never known existed, that you have found inside that space known as space?
I don't want to get emotional.
Well, feel free. You're in a safe place.
Everything. It was for me, because I had so much not, yes, Miles, you're gonna have to be patient, please. Because I had so much withheld from me. There's so much information that I did not know that. So, oh gosh, I don't want to cry.
You can.
There's just so much. There was so much that I, so like Voyagers, for example, are my favorite mission. I think I could do an entire show talking about the Voyagers and the fact that they were still within our solar system when I was alive and I had no idea. In sort of in a sad, I'm glad I know of all this stuff now, but there was a profound sadness of how much I had missed out on, and just how massive and how so much more grand and beautiful it all was than what was told to me, because it was very presented to me as you don't ask questions, and this is, if you ask too much, it's just nope, we don't know the answers to that. It's a mystery. The end, and now to have this just amazing universe that it's okay to ask questions and to try to understand the cosmos. That to me, I don't know if I'm answering your question exactly correct, but
you're speaking from the heart. That's correct.
It was everything. It was just, I mean, it almost, this is why I also still call it like a cult. It's like coming out of a cult and finally like getting to learn all these things, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing, it's just amazing.
That, I love it when we find ourselves at those intersections of journey where there aren't words that can adequately describe the feeling. And that's because I don't think enough of us have passed that marker in order to name it, and you just can't throw any old word out there to describe it. You get, that's not good enough, or no, it's more than that. Oh, it's better than that. And that's what I think a lot of us seek. And a lot of us miss the opportunity because, well, even if it's open to you, you don't consider that you can get what you've gotten from something like space. It seems so distant, so far away, but it isn't. Anara, what about you? What would you say would be the greatest shocker or revelation, if you will, that you've experienced since diving into the
Absolutely. Space? So it's one of the really cool connections that Sarah and I have is that we have a very similar upbringing. I also grew up in a fundamentalist, very small Mormon town, similar kind of experience. Don't question, dinosaurs aren't real, science is the devil. And, I was a seeker from an early age, and I would ask big questions. I didn't want to go to kids' Sunday school. I wanted to go with the adults, and I wanted to study Revelation, and I wanted to ask why things didn't add up. And I was shot down constantly for it. And it led me to become a very devout atheist. That sounds like an oxymoron, but I didn't believe in a soul. I didn't believe in an afterlife. I felt pretty lost and angry that I had been misled. And it took quantum physics to turn that around for me. Quantum physics taught me that below or at the sublevel of matter and energy, there's actually information. And that information can be conceived of as a giant interconnected mind throughout the universe. And it took quantum physics to make me understand that energy can't be created or destroyed, and that I do have a soul, that I am an eternal being. And so while I'm not a religious person and I don't worship any gods, it was that moment where I was like, oh, what just happened? It was science that gave me back a sense of eternity and a sense of being real in the universe. So that moment, I think, is one of the most critical moments for me.
I can see how that could be. And it's very interesting because scientifically, you wouldn't think that you'd even come across the word soul. So that kind of leads me into the next question. Since all three of us here have had that fundamentalist Christian, shell that we were within for so long of our journey, but today, what does that four-letter word, Alan A. Allen? Oh my goodness, he talks about soul, right?
He's awesome.
He is. So soul, how different is that word? What's the difference pre-knowledge of space and whatnot versus post? How different is that definition personally for each of you? Soul.
Well, for me, growing up, the soul, I didn't really have much of an understanding or connection to it. Religion terrified me, even when I believed in it. I was always scared I was going to do the wrong thing, end up in hell. And I was preoccupied with demons and monsters. And, that's one of the traumas that it gave me. But the soul, to me, I didn't really have a super connection to it. But when I, went through quantum physics, and I'm not the greatest at it, but I've been saturating myself in it, the idea of energy and what we really are, and the fact that we're now looking at this idea that we are in a holographic world, that our physical world is a holographic world. You can go back to ancient India and their talk about Maya and about the fact that the physical universe is an illusion. So the more we go forward with quantum physics, it's starting to look more and more like some of the higher philosophies from the past, devoid of that outer wrapping that is like the control structures of religion. But for me, soul is entity. I'm not a soul. I don't have a soul. I am a soul. And the body is more like a machine.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Think about it. You can be alive. Everything can be functioning. Your brain can be working, but you're gone. You're not there. So it's not the brain making you do all this. And the brain can't power itself. So something else is underneath that layer.
Right.
We like to think about, like, a lot of times in atheist circles, they're like, well, your brain is really you and it runs your body. But your brain can be fine, your body can be fine, but you can be gone. The person's not there.
Right.
There's medical conditions that cause this. So something else is operating in that sphere. And what is that? For me, it took science to figure that out.
Sarah, same question.
Yeah, it's a little harder for me to answer because I do ascribe to be more atheist agnostic. But I mean, I like your definition, and are definitely, that person, like the personality of the person. We often have conversations a lot about like nature versus nurture, and I ask myself a lot, why was I that questioning kid who had to go to the pastor's office all the time because I was getting in trouble, and all my sisters weren't? You know what I mean? Like what gave me that critical thought? What gave me that desire? And even though I knew full well I was going to get in trouble. So, right, that personality part of you, I think that's a good way to think about what I would define as soul. I don't know. It's still kind of, I'm still very much on a journey personally, in really becoming the best form of myself that I want to be. So some of that lack of being able to answer that, I think, is part of that journey. I'm still reconciling with some of what I went through, and some of the consequences through my life of what I went through, because of how things started. It's a journey for me. Yes.
So I've just dropped a YouTube link in the chat, you guys, that Anara sent. I think it's, she's kind of...
sometimes her internet's a little spotty.
Yeah, she's in Germany. Really quickly, we have 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Hey, Sarah?
Yes.
In a nutshell, if you could spend 1 week in space, what would you spend it doing?
What would I spend it doing? Definitely writing. I'm a writer. I'm a science writer for Blue Marble Space Institute of Science, but writing is definitely the outlet that I'm the most comfortable being able to to express myself in the most articulate manner.
Yes.
I would write, and I would try to hopefully get that overview experience as well, because I've read so much about it now.
I don't think you can avoid it.
I don't know. I don't know. When you look at Bill's reaction and then you hear the other people in the background, I think that the overview experience, it might be something, though, that you have to have perhaps a soul that can find it and appreciate it.
Right. They were laughing and all kinds of stuff back there.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So I don't know if some of that's age, it's wisdom. I'm not sure if that's, like what we're talking about, the underlying you that can fully appreciate and feel the overview experience.
Well, I would say this. As a nearly 60-year-old person, okay, I see she popped back in. I feel this. I know that every day that I move further down the sidewalk of my journey, after 50, it just started happening. I think it's the mortality thing. You automatically start understanding. It's that knowingness that surpasses understanding. The whole new outlook of the question mark. Whereas up to a certain point in my journey, the question mark used to scare me about a lot of things.
Sure.
But today, if I don't see a question mark, I go the other direction, because my soul is not hungry for evolving. It is starving.
Sure.
You feel a sense of universal urgency to get it all, because it's just, that's how I know what you were referring to, Anara, about I am a soul. So listen, you guys out there, don't miss this show. You've just gotten a taste of these two wonderful women. Cosmic Waves every Wednesday and Saturday, 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Central Standard Time on IRoc Space Radio, which is on iHeartRadio. That will be Space Case, Sarah, and the Galaxis Gal, your host, each and every episode. Any last words before we get out of here, ladies?
No, I just hope everyone else has the courage to go and live their lives authentically as well, because your life is short. Your life is so, so preciously short. And it is too short to not follow what your heart believes is right for you.
Arnara?
I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens, definitely.
I want to thank you both for starting your day with us and for pouring into us. And I want to say that same thing to each and every one of you. The wonderful thing I love most about what we do every day, Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Central, is that we fulfill one of the greatest promises found in the universe. That one that says that when two or more of us comes together with a like-minded spirit, heart, and soul, this is what happens. Illuminated conversations are just the beginning. Keep having them. Every day, make it your life's work to leave every person or situation you encounter just a tad bit better than the way you found it. That is how you get inside the golden circle known as legacy. My name is Lauren Michaels Harris. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you Monday morning, God willing. I'm off to Salt Lake City tomorrow. Wish me safe travels. If you would, send lots of light, love, and prayers. And we'll meet on the front porch as we always do, so that we take great to greater, strong to stronger, bright to brighter, and bold to bolder. Bolder. Get out there. Make this the best day ever. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so, so much. You're just incredible. You guys, mark your calendars for this weekend show of these two. You're not going to miss it. I know you're not. Cosmic Waves, put it on your calendar. You guys, I'll see you. God bless you all. You guys get out there and be good to yourselves and be even better to everyone else. See you Monday. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Sharon.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need a space.